So Flow Taste, I am Chef Michelle Bernstein and welcome to the Goya Kitchen here at J World in Coconut Creek. Since March is Women's History Month, today I thought it would be fun and respectful to honor some women who made their names and their memorable recipes in the kitchen. These are just some of the female chefs I look up to, and if it weren't for them, I wouldn't be standing here today. So let's get to honoring and to cooking. The first recipe is from Nancy Silverton. She started as a pastry chef and a baker. She ended up selling her company, her whole bakery, for a small fortune and ended up eventually going more into the savory world, and she still bakes. She has Pizzeria Mazza, Osteria Mazza. She's got incredible restaurants, but more than anything, she's just an incredibly bright, interesting, and creative woman. And the first woman to ever receive a James Beard Award, and she's gotten a couple. So let's make her cauliflower frittata. A frittata is a little bit like a tortilla española, which we like to make a lot here in Miami. And I love that she makes it with cauliflower. So we're gonna add some butter, as well as some olive oil in a cast iron pan. If you'd rather use a non-stick pan, it's definitely a little safer. I'm going to add these cauliflower florets, and as you can see, they're probably about an inch, maybe an inch and a quarter pieces. I'm going to go ahead and put that into the butter and the olive oil. I'm going to salt that already to make sure that that has flavor, because when you make eggs, you know, you not only have to season the eggs, but you have to season the vegetables or whatever it is that you add to those eggs. So I'm going to add a little bit of salt to that. She also adds a lot of julienne onions. These are yellow onions. So I'm going to add that to the cauliflower. While those cook, I'm just going to, every once in a while, stir them around. I'm going to go ahead and crack the eggs. So we got these eggs straight from the farm, and they are double yolk eggs. So her recipe is about 8 to 10 eggs, so we're going to go ahead and obviously crack a few less because they're so large. They're almost as big as a duck egg, and because they have the double yolk. But these are beautiful. When you crack eggs, you never want to crack on the bowl, because if you crack on the bowl, what's going to happen is a little bit of shell is going to get into the bowl, and you don't want that. So far I have 6 eggs. Let's see what that looks like. Make sure your oven is on when you're making your frittata, because it always gets finished in the oven. The cauliflower is getting a little color. The onions are just beginning to soften. Let's let them go just a little bit before adding the eggs to it. If you're worried about the amount of fat that I added, the reason why you do that is really for the omelet or the frittata to really cook in enough fat so that all the surfaces get nice and golden. So I'm going to now add the garlic to it, and we want the cauliflower to just be cooked through just. You don't want it too soft, but you also don't want it too crunchy. And I think we're there. So let's go ahead and add the eggs into it. I turn the heat down just a little bit. The way to cook a frittata, you basically want to wait till you see the eggs setting all the way around the hot sides of the pan. And you just want to gently kind of move them a little bit to make sure that they're not sticking, like so. See how I'm kind of moving it away from the side of the pan? But as I do that, I'm filling it in with the raw egg, the liquid egg, so that I make sure that all of the liquid is now starting to touch the hot sides of the pan. Okay, so I'm going to season it now again. I did put a little bit of salt and pepper in the egg. You can never have enough seasoning as far as I'm concerned in an egg. So now that the sides are all getting nice and done, and I feel like I have pretty much pushed as much of the liquid egg as I can into the sides, I'm going to go ahead and do, her last touch is to add breadcrumbs and put it over the top. and just some thyme leaves. Sprinkle it right on top. We're gonna go in the oven. Supposedly this only cooks for 3 minutes, so we'll see what happens. Come right back, and we've got more women to talk about, to respect, and of course, to enjoy their glorious food. See you in a minute.
There's still more from the Goya Kitchen at J.A. World and Michelle.
Come on down to the Margate Spring Break Fair.
The sights, the sounds, and oh, that delicious smell. It's the sweet smell of throwing your diet out the window for just one day and loving it. Hi, I'm Alyssa Harper for Sautéed at the Margate Spring Break Fair in Broward County. And while they've got a lot of fun games and thrilling rides, we are here for the food. I plan to eat my way through these fairgrounds and take you along for the ride. I think I'm in the mood to try something different, and tacos sound delicious.
Hello, welcome to Cielito Lindo.
Thank you.
We're a brand new food truck. I have here the chorizo, pastor, and asada for you. Everything's fresh chicken from Mexican stores. Here's cilantro, onions, cut limes.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Here's some fresh tacos. I have here the chicken tacos for you.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Delicious.
These tacos are so amazing. I'm on my third one. Up next, bacon-wrapped corn dogs. And I am here to get one of my most favorite fair foods, the corn dog. But I hear this one has a twist.
And here it is, the bacon corn dog. Come on in, I'll show you how it's made.
Awesome, thank you.
What we do is take a hot dog, we take it and we wrap it around, drop it in our fryer, we dip it into our homemade batter here, and we drop it into our hot grease. This is one of our popular items.
Now that we know how this bacon-wrapped corn dog is made, let's have a taste. It's delicious. Up next, dessert. We've got something sweet, we've got something fried, and I think we even have some more bacon. Let's go.
Hi, we have a bacon maple flavored funnel cake for you to try.
That sounds amazing.
Right now we are pouring our batter, which has chopped up bacon inside the batter.
And so how long do we cook the funnel cake for?
About 2 minutes.
So first step, fry the batter. Next step, maple syrup.
Yep, maple syrup.
A little powdered sugar. That is so good.
More bacon for on top.
Wow. That is piping hot. Delicious. That bacon and the maple and the crispiness of the dough is amazing. What a fun and food-tastic day at the fair. I powered through, but I had to get some to go. So if you're a foodie like me, head out to the Margate Spring Break Fair and enjoy a taste of the sweet life.
Welcome back to Sautéed. By the way, I'm here at J.A. World in Coconut Creek, a great place for our kids and their education. Get to know them at jasouthflorida.org or call 954-979-7100. They always make us welcome. Now back to the food of my heroes. Check out this beautiful frittata. She tells you to microplane a little Parmesan cheese, which I think goes on almost everything. So let's give it a little slice. This beautiful cauliflower frittata comes from Nancy Silverton. To me, one of the best, and I hate to call her just a woman chef. She's really one of the best chefs in the world. Pretty beautiful. I'm very excited. This looks gorgeous. All right, so this is Nancy's recipe. Let's move on to Alice Waters' recipe. So Alice Waters, she opened Chez Panisse. It changed everything. She really brought farm to the table before anyone even knew that saying. So in 1971, she opened Chez Panisse, and that was it. It started a whole movement, and I truly think that that's really where slow food came from. So she makes a delicious minestrone, and it's really so simple that I wanted to make it for you today. It just felt really clean and really good, and it just felt like her. So Alice's minestrone begins with white beans, and she cooks 1 cup of white beans. Look how many white beans we got out of 1 cup. It's amazing. So she does not add pasta to her minestrone soup. What she does do though, we're gonna take some fresh tomatoes because minestrone is all about the freshness of the vegetable. So what we're gonna do is just take the stem out of a fresh tomato and you make a little X on the bottom, which is a little hard to do because this is a funky shaped tomato, but that's okay, we can still make a little X. We'll do the same thing with another one. Just take the stem out and make a little X. And then you go right into boiling water for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then you remove it. And you go right into a bowl of ice water. Now what I'm going to teach you is called concassé. And concassé is to remove the skin and the seeds from a fresh tomato. So this is simply done by peeling the skin off the tomato just like that. You start in the X that you cut earlier, and you see how it peels right off. Let's do it with the other one. And you see how simply it just peels. So that's how you get the skin off. The next thing you do is cut it in half. And with your fingers, just grab at the seeds and squeeze them right out. And they come right out like so. So then you take that tomato and you just basically cut it up in little pieces. So let's go ahead as I cut, let's start her soup. So in a pot, we are going to heat up a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. And we're gonna cook some tiny diced onions and some carrots. I'm gonna finish chopping these tomatoes because they're just so beautiful and we need them concassed. Chef Alice Waters actually uses water for her minestrone instead of any type of a broth. I personally love chicken stock, even though it is a vegetable-based soup, because I think it just gives you a lot of natural gelatin and viscosity. So I'm gonna use my chicken stock for this soup, even though I do respect Alice Waters and her recipe is beautiful. I'm gonna turn it a little more into mine. All right, once these are a little bit soft, I'm gonna add 5 sprigs of fresh thyme, a bay leaf, and some fresh chopped garlic. My onions are becoming translucent, so at this point, I'm gonna add my chicken stock to it. And to that, she says to add green beans, and these are cut in thirds, as well as some beautiful leeks that have been cut in half lengthwise and sliced. So the next ingredients are the fresh concassed tomatoes that we talked about that I just made, some fresh zucchini, some fresh spinach, and I'm just gonna slice it. And there's one more thing I'm gonna do that's a little more on my side rather than Chef Alice's instruction. I've decided, because I love to add a rind of Parmesan in my minestrone, I just think it gives beautiful flavor. So I'm actually gonna cut the rind off of the Parmesan. And of course, this is beautiful Reggiano Parmigiano, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in. So this is gonna take a few minutes of cooking. We want everything to go in really at the right time. So come right back so I can keep on going with all these beautiful ingredients and of course, more recipes. So remember, my recipes are always available on the SoFlo Show's webpage. Just scan this quick response code. It's also on our ingredient list throughout the show. So come right back because I've got so much more.
SoFlo Home Project is coming up right after the food.
SoFlo Taste will return right after this. Welcome back to SoFlo Taste, and of course, my nod to all the incredible women chefs in my life. Actually, one of them doesn't even know who I am, but it doesn't really matter. Incredible chefs that I have not only been following them my whole career, but they've really shaped me. And this Alice Waters soup is just, it's so filled with so much. I didn't know that you could put this much vegetable and bean in a minestrone. It's really lovely. And I think it's pretty much ready now. If you missed it, we've got concassé tomatoes, which are peeled and seeded and chopped. We've got beautiful white beans that we cooked, fresh spinach, carrots, onions, zucchini. Okay, so she recommends, if you want, you can serve it with a little bit of pesto, which I have, which I always keep at home, a little bit of pesto. And then, of course, take a little bit of the Parmesan that I took the rind from and just grate it right over the top. This is so good. This could be like the perfect lunch. Let's jump into two incredible women. Mary Sue Milliken and Susan Feniger are two chefs that I learned about when Food Network just began. They used to really be known for Southwestern Mexican style cuisine, but now they kind of do it all, and they're just wonderful. So we are taking their recipe for these tacos. They're potato and rajas, which are roast poblanos, but so much more. So we started out by caramelizing the onions like they do, julienne yellow onions, and they take a little while. So we did this first, and these are just caramelized in a little bit of oil, salt and peppered pretty heavily. It took about 10 to 12 minutes to get the onion that caramelized. So the next step is to add the rajas, and they actually like roast red peppers and roast poblanos. You can roast them in an oven, like at 400, 500 degrees, until the skin gets blistered, or you can do it if you have a gas stove. You just stick it right there in the flame until they get blistery. Cover them with plastic wrap, let them steam a little bit, and then peel them, and then of course seed them. If not, it gets a little too spicy with the poblanos. We're gonna add the rajas in, and of course the sweet potato raja too. Here are the potatoes, and these have just been cooked in water until really nice and tender, and they say to drain them and just spread them on a cookie sheet so they're nice and dry. Take the heavy cream and pour it into the rajas, and we're gonna just reduce that a little bit. And this will eventually become your creamy cheese sauce. They've asked for a variety of cheeses, so we have chosen to use Monterey Jack and Romano cheese, which is really briny and salty, which is delicious. But it's really up to you. You can pretty much use any cheese that will melt. I can think of about 10 different cheeses that I would love to use in this dish. So as that is starting to now reduce, let's go ahead and add the cheeses. Now let's go ahead and melt the cheeses into the cream. And this is so simple, but as you can see, this is turning into something quite delicious. So as I'm watching the cream reduce, the cheeses are starting to melt, and the color is becoming really beautiful with the red bell peppers and the green. We're just gonna add the potatoes to it. I'm gonna stir these very gently so that the potatoes don't break up. I'm gonna let the potatoes just warm through. When you come back, we'll make the tacos and bring it all together. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Welcome back to SoFlo Taste, and I would like to call this my mentor show because I am doing food from all kinds of incredible women in history and famous and great women chefs. More than famous, they're just great. They really are. All right, so we are finishing up Susan Feniger and Mary Sue Milliken's potato and rajas tacos. I am heating up the tortillas. Let's go ahead and put them on a plate. And then let's gather some of this creamy, cheesy, probably a little spicy filling. Wow, this looks so dangerously delicious. And gluten-free, might I add. All right, there we go. So the only thing that I did a little differently is I love my pomegranate garnish. I always put this on tacos. So if I may, ladies, I hope I'm not offending. I'm just gonna add a little bit of pomegranate. And there you have it. Thanks to all of you, to Alice Waters, to Nancy Silverton, and to Mary Sue Milliken and Susan Feniger for teaching me. And thank you for joining me today. Trust me, the recipes I've given you today are from some of the best chefs in the world. They're great and the recipes are great too, so give these recipes a try. Next week, I'm cooking for Passover. I'll have some of my favorite recipes to celebrate, and hopefully they'll become your family traditions too, so make plans to be here. Now let's check in with my friend Elena Capra from SoFlo Home Project. Good morning, Elena. What are you doing next on SoFlo Home Project?
Hi, Michelle. Good morning. So today we're talking about dream homes and what defines that. Coming up on SoFlo Home Project, we show you how to make your house your perfect home.
Thank you, Elena. We love dreaming about our dream homes. So Taste Buds, thanks for spending another morning with me. I love sharing our time. Please be smart, be safe, and be vaccinated. And I'll see you next week. Goodbye and good taste. Hear me roar.